Yo, what's up guys, C-Jax back with another video, and last night's SummerSlam was awesome, and because of it, I think that WWE is back. But the main reason I really think WWE is back is because the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, is officially back in the WWE, and the reason why this is important is actually for many other reasons, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, okay? There's other factors as to why I think WWE is back, and we're going to get into those later in this video, but I want to start off talking about Roman's return. First off, look at this graphic. Within 2 hours of his return, he generated over $800,000 worth of revenue for the WWE. And then he also had this limited time belt that was $600 and sold out in an hour. There's only 1,316 copies because that's how long his reign was, 1,316 days. And he's the biggest draw in the company pretty much, okay? Now that we've seen this graphic, let's flash back to the reality. The last 4 months of Raw and SmackDown, in my opinion, have been terrible. They've been inconsistent, they've been mostly boring, and none of the storylines are really that interesting. However, the one main interesting storyline on SmackDown, which has been noticeably worse than Raw for the last 2 or 3 months, the best storyline is Solo and the new Tribal Chief and the Bloodline gimmick, okay? So basically, now that Roman Reigns is inserted back into this story, this storyline that was already decent now is probably going to become great or even amazing now that Roman Reigns is back in the storyline. Because we still have yet to see Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Sammy will probably get involved, all that stuff. It's going to get very, very good very, very soon. And now Roman Reigns can finally save us for the boring slogfest that happens on SmackDown every week when Bayley is cutting her promos as champion, which doesn't really happen much, or when Cody is cutting his promos as champion and basically out there to give us reminders, not promos. He basically goes out there and says, I respect you, I thank you, my daddy Dusty Rhodes, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Like, we're done with that now, right? Or at least we're not done with it, but you get what I'm saying. There's something more interesting and better than that that's going to be happening on SmackDown every week now, or at least every other week when Roman Reigns shows up. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he's back is going to mean a lot for SmackDown, which has been very much struggling. And I mentioned Bayley's title reign. That's also over now because Nia Jax is your new WWE Women's Champion. And now her and Tiffany Stratton can actually, pretty much go to work. She's the top of the women's division on SmackDown, and it's going to be awesome to see what happens with Nia Jax next. She's improving all of that stuff. Another reason why I think WWE is back is simply because the Judgment Day storyline is the second best storyline in WWE right now. The Judgment Day imploded at SummerSlam. We got to see Dom turn on Rhea. We had the big moment with Liv. And, on top of that as well, Damian Priest got turned on by Finn Balor, bro, for his championship. So that's going to be interesting. Where do Damian and Rhea go next? You see what I'm saying? There's a common theme here. These stories have all been elevated after SummerSlam. That way, now Raw and SmackDown are going to be more interesting in return. We're not going to have to sit down every week and listen to Damian Priest's garbage World Heavyweight Championship promos about how he's the world champion and he respects Gunther and he's the world champion and he's El Campeon and his name is Damian Priest and he's actually the world champion if you guys didn't know that, and his name is El Campeon, aka Damian Priest. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to deal with that garbage anymore because Gunther is World Heavyweight Champion and Gunther can now feud with pretty much anybody. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, anyone. Sami Zayn even, he could do that again. I don't really want to see Sami Zayn. I'm glad he lost to Braun Breaker, to be honest, but, whatever happens next happens. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, at the end of the day, Raw and SmackDown are much better than they were before. The title changes have made things a lot better. First off, we got to talk about this. LA Knight winning the U.S. Championship was massive for SmackDown, and I'm going to explain to you why. All of the mid-carders like Santos Escobar, your Carmelo Hayes, your Andrade, your Shinsuke, who's been off TV for a year now, pretty much they're actually going to probably get utilized now in the mid-card. The reason why they couldn't get utilized in the mid-card before is because Logan Paul showed up to SmackDown 5 times a year. So now that LA Knight's on the show every week with the title, and he's going to probably have a longer U.S. title reign, it might even be longer than Logan Paul's, honestly, but they're going to do that, and it's going to be extremely entertaining. And you can have LA Knight be the kind of guy who fights every week and defends the title every week. It's going to make the SmackDown mid-card better, which is ultimately going to make SmackDown overall better when you coincide the fact that Roman Reigns is back, and The Rock is probably coming back within the next few months as well by Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. So we're just getting started. SmackDown is going to be better than Raw, and it's not remotely close by the time it happens. Now let's get back to Raw, why Raw is also better. Braun Breaker is the new IC champ. This is pretty self-explanatory. Sami Zayn did nothing in his title reign, just like Bayley, and just like Cody Rhodes so far has done nothing. So that's pretty much that. We don't need to waste time. Another thing that happened on Raw that's going to be very fun is Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre's feud, because now Drew McIntyre can honestly take a step back and even go fight Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, because Drew McIntyre did what he needed to do. He beat CM Punk. And Seth Rollins and CM Punk are getting into it, and they're having problems. So now they can go do that while Drew goes off and does better things, because Drew McIntyre has been the most consistent and the best wrestler in the company pretty much since WrestleMania season, right? Rock and Roman Reigns are obviously the two best in the company, okay? It's not close. However, if you're looking outside of that, Drew McIntyre has been the most consistent and best performer in the ring, on the mic, overall pretty much outside of those two people. And it hasn't been close all year. He's better than Seth right now. He's better than Punk in the ring and on the mic, honestly, if you really look at it in their promos since they've come back. So it's not close. So the fact that Drew McIntyre is freed up to do whatever he wants or even just continue the feud, they have so much, versatility that they can do with this feud now. And I think that's just honestly perfect. And I mean perfect for Raw. If you have those dudes being able to do something interesting while also having a fighting champion who's actually interesting in Gunther, this show's going to be good. And the Judgment Day storyline is just getting started as well. Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, dude, trust me. We are going at some point to get a Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley tag match versus Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. It's coming, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to happen. It's a big money match. Jey Uso's the most over babyface on Raw, and you have one of the other most over babyfaces in the entire company in Rhea Ripley. Are you kidding me? That's a money match versus two massive heels with Liv and Dom, dude. Are you serious? If you put that in front of the German crowd at Bash in Berlin, that match is going to make that show is going to sell out, first of all, no matter what happens. Because now that Roman Reigns is back, everyone's just going to want to see what happens next. Oh, is Roman Reigns going to be there? Is The Rock going to be there? With Solo, all that other stuff. People are going to be excited. You know what I'm saying? So that's also very interesting. So the Judgment Day storyline is cooking. The new title changes are cooking because they're going to make the Raw and SmackDown mid-cards better. And Gunther being the World Heavyweight Champion feels viable. And now we can actually get some better feuds going on than what we had with Damian Priest. No offense. Quick shout out to Damian Priest, though. I can't stand the guy on the mic. I think he cuts horrible promos, and I think he was a transitional mid-champion. However, the matches that he puts on PLEs and on Raw have been very great for the last 2 years or year or so, right? I started watching kind of mid-2023 again, and he's been very good. Okay, he's been very good in the ring. His promos and his character are pretty trash in my eyes, but as far as his matches, I can't take anything away from him. He has grinded, he has worked hard, and he is doing a great job in the ring. Okay, so there's no argument there. I just need to give him props. Same thing with Bayley, right? I'm not a big Bayley fan, but at the end of the day, Bayley is doing her job, okay? She's doing what she's told, and honestly, it's partly the creative's fault. They haven't written her, these awesome and great stories that really get to showcase her true abilities on the mic and in the ring, right? So it's not really her fault necessarily that her reign sucked. However, it did suck, so it's partly on her. But I do want to give her credit for at least fighting back in yesterday's match. She put a pretty good performance on, and honestly, it's kind of unfortunate to see that she finally got a WWE Championship reign after, 2 or 3 years of her not having the title, and the reign ended up being crap, and it was booked poorly. I feel bad for her. That sucks. Same thing with DIY, them losing the belts in 3 weeks. That sucks, right? But at the end of the day, Bayley did her best, okay? And she is an all-time great. She's a legend in the women's history, or the women's wrestling history, but it's just not her time right now, okay? And just like the same thing with Priest. Priest is doing a good job, but it's not his time. It just isn't. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. I'm sure in a few months, by the time Royal Rumble at WrestleMania rolls around, he's going to lose that title too, because it's not his time. He's not good enough. Sometimes in life, we have these people who are fan favorites, and we're really behind them and everything like that, but they're just not good enough. Okay, they're not good enough in the ring. They're not good enough on the mic. Just like Tonga Loa, who just keeps botching everything. They had to sub him out of the tag match on SmackDown for Jacob Fatu and for Tama Tonga because he just doesn't know what he's doing out there. That doesn't mean he's a bad wrestler, but he's just not capable of doing what he needs to be doing. All right, and the sooner we realize that, the better. Sami Zayn was not a good champion. Cody Rhodes is not a good champion. Bayley was a bad champion. Sami Zayn was I already said him. He's a mid-champion. Damian Priest was a mid/bad champion. Okay, it's just the facts. And the fact that we're moving on from all those title reigns, those insignificant title reigns, same with Logan Paul's, which Logan Paul is a supreme athlete, one of the best wrestlers in the company, but he never shows up to work. So, I can't really get excited for a guy that shows up once every 4 months. But, yeah, at the end of the day, all the title reigns that are getting ended and started for new ones is going to help the Raw and the SmackDown mid-card. Roman Reigns being back is going to help SmackDown and WWE overall, and in terms of the revenue and everything like that. And Roman Reigns is, by the way, just want to go back to that tweet. He is the biggest star in the company. Do not get it twisted. I will make a video this week talking about how Cody Rhodes really needs Roman Reigns in the bloodline, but that's a topic for another day. Yes, Roman Reigns, easily the top draw in the company. It's not close. So let's get excited for the next few months leading up to Mania, Royal Rumble. Raw and SmackDown this week should be bangers, and everything in the future looks great. SummerSlam did a great job of setting up, a great personal show for what it was, but also a great future for the company. So with that being said, that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you thought of SummerSlam, and let me know what you think of Roman Reigns returning, all the title changes, all the other stuff that went down. Have a great day. Peace out.